right, viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. past the clock. It's time for the news. We thank you so much for always being with us. Our major stories right away. The security situation in the all-rich African nation Gabon is still very dire at the moment. The Gabonese now have a new transitional leader. The military, which took over power, appointed General Brice Oligui Nguema as the new man at the head of the all-rich African country. As we speak, Ali Bongo and family remain under house arrest. The curfew imposed by the military in Gabon continues, but for few vehicles plying major towns like Port-Gentil and also Libreville. We have on standby a Cameroonian based in Libreville who will be giving us updates on how Gabon woke up today after the military coup d'etat. That would be in this edition of the news. And still out of Cameroon, at least 70 people have died in a severe fire incident which happened at central Johannesburg in South Africa today. Viewers, those are our major stories. Details in just a moment. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for always being faithful. We begin with updates on what is happening in Gabon. The coup leaders in Gabon have announced that a new strongman, General Brice Oligui Nguema, will be sworn in as president of the transition that would be on Monday, September 4, 2023, before the Constitutional Court. General Oligui also decided on the gradual establishment of transitional institutions announced by Colonel Ulrich Manfumbi, the spokesperson for the Committee for the Transition and the Restoration of Institutions, which brings together all the commanders of the army. We now know that the military imposed General Brice Nguema as the new president of Gabon. Babila Jonathan with updates from that oil-rich African nation.
After the military seized power Wednesday following the announcement of Ali Bongo's victory in the last presidential election at 5 a.m. by the Electoral Commission, Gabon is still under curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The military leaders who imposed the curfew said people will be allowed to move about freely during the day. The borders of the country remain closed. The army officers have named General Brice Oligui Nguema as the Central African State's transitional leader. Within hours, generals met to discuss who will lead the transition and agreed by a unanimous vote to appoint General Nguema, former head of the Presidential Guard. General Nguema was earlier carried triumphantly through the streets of the capital, Libreville, by his troops. Crowds in Libreville and elsewhere celebrated the army's declaration. But the coup was condemned by the United Nations, the African Union, the Economic Community of Central African States, and France, who had close ties with the Bongo family.
And now we already know the new transitional president of Gabon is General Brice Nguema Oligui, but who is the 48-year-old who was named as the president of the transition by the putschists on Wednesday, August 30, during or after the coup d'etat. Let's now have more on that general with Fomi and Trong-Sanda.
Presented as the new strongman of Gabon after the coup d'etat which overthrew Ali Bongo on Wednesday, Brice Oligui Nguema experienced exile and disgrace from the Ali Bongo regime in Gabon. After training at the Royal Military Academy of Meknes in Morocco, Brice became one of Omar Bongo's aides-de-camp at the start of his career. A renowned Francophile, he was very close to the former head of state, whom he followed like his shadow from 2005 to 2009. He remained close to the Gabonese leader until his death in 2009. 2009 saw the beginning of the most difficult and humiliating parts of his career as he got dismissed by the new leader Ali Bongo upon his election as president. Brice then began a 10-year journey through the desert as military attaché for the Gabonese embassies in Morocco and then Senegal. 2018, he was called back and appointed to head the intelligence unit of the Republican Guard, replacing the half-brother of Ali Bongo, Frederic Bongo. 6 months later, he got propelled to the rank of general and appointed to head the powerful Republican Guard. It was in this position that General Brice Oligui Nguema established himself as the cornerstone of the country's security system. At the head of this elite regiment, he notably pushed Ali Bongo to improve the living and working conditions of his men, which earned him love and respect from Gabonese soldiers. In addition, Brice Oligui Nguema is of the Fang ethnic group by his father, the majority ethnic group in Gabon, which makes up over 40% of the country's population. Brice, however, grew up with his mother in the province of Ho-Away, the stronghold of the Bongo clan in the Central African nation.
And still on news from Gabon, the military takeover in that country has sparked reactions from the EU, the CEMAC, ECOWAS, and the international communities, including France, condemning the attempted coup. These sub-regional blocs, bodies, and international communities demand restoration of constitutional order for peace, stability, and overall development in Gabon, as well as the security and release of Ali Bongo. Innocent as they compiled the various reactions and now tells us more.
As the situation in Gabon gets more and more tense, the international community, personalities and bodies react differently. Moussa Faki Mahamat, the head of the African Union, condemns the coup and calls on the security forces to peacefully return to democratic constitutional order. He calls on the national army and the security forces to guarantee the personal safety of Ali Bongo, his family members and those of his government, return to constitutional order. CEMAC, through its president, Faustin Archange Touadéra, while condemning the attempted coup in Gabon, demands return to constitutional order, respect of the well-being, immediate and unconditional release of President Ali Bongo and his family members. The CEMAC boss recalls that all constitutional change of government constitutes an intolerable violation of the CEMAC fundamental principles. He calls on the parties to preserve peace and give privilege to dialogue, which is an essential solution to the present situation. Another reaction is that of ECOWAS President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who says is watching developments in Gabon very closely with deep concern for the country's socio-political stability and the seeming autocratic contagion apparently spreading across different regions of the continent. The government of Chad demands return to constitutional order, invites CEMAC and demands the military to watch on the security and well-being of Ali Bongo and his family. Elsewhere, the Commonwealth of Nations qualified the coup an illegal takeover of power. Patricia Scotland, Commonwealth Secretary General, said the Commonwealth Charter is clear that member states must uphold the rule of law and the principles of democracy at all times. Also reacting is the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who condemns the military takeover as a means to resolve the post-electoral crisis and reaffirms his strong opposition to military coup. In the United States of America, the White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said they will continue to support the idea of democratic ideals that are expressed by the African people. France, principally concerned, reacted by condemning the military coup. The French government reaffirmed its wish that the outcome of the election, once known, be respected. France has maintained close economic, diplomatic and military ties with Gabon and has 400 soldiers stationed in the country, leading a regional military training operation.
And now for the second part of the news, we will be having live from Gabon a private security agent who is based in Libreville. He will be telling us how the Gabonese woke up this morning. Away from Gabon, but still out of Cameroon, in Johannesburg, South Africa, there at least 70 people have died in a fire outbreak which happened in central Johannesburg. That was today. The actual cause of that fire incident is still to be made public, while in the DRC, violence has been surging across the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Our reporter Lucy Liengu is here with our foreign page roundup.
A fire outbreak, a search and recovery operation was underway. It is likely that the death toll would rise. Still in Africa, but this time in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where 14 people have died after a military group attacked a village in the northeast of the country. 4 attackers have died in the fighting, while 2 soldiers and 2 civilians were wounded in the attack involving more than 120 armed groups. And to Italy, where 5 railway workers have lost their lives after being hit by a train in the northern part of the country. The accident took place at approximately midnight on Wednesday in the municipality of Branzizo, part of Turin's metropolitan area. The train, which was transporting wagons on the Milan-Turin line, was traveling at 160 kilometers, that's 99 meters per hour, when it hit the workers who were replacing parts of the track near Branzizo.
And now in religion, still in foreign news, José Alvino Betancourt is the new apostolic nuncio to Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. He was appointed by Pope Francis that was on August 26, 2023. And in the report which comes up next, Mala Glory now gives us a profile of the new apostolic nuncio to Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea.
José Avelino Betancourt, a Luso-Canadian priest and diplomat, has been transferred by Pope Francis to the Vatican diplomatic mission in Cameroon and Equatorial Guinea. The transfer of Archbishop José, who was serving as apostolic nuncio in Georgia and Armenia, was made public on Wednesday, August 30th. The information was published by the Holy See Press Office. José Avelino is to succeed Archbishop Julio Maret, who was transferred to Sweden in November 2022. Born in May 1962 in Vélez, Portugal, Archbishop Betancourt was ordained priest for the Archdiocese of Ottawa, Canada in May 1993. He obtained 2 degrees in literature and theology at the University of Ottawa. He later obtained a doctorate in canon law from the Pontifical Gregorian University. He was commissioned officer in the Royal Canadian Navy and assisted pastorally at the Holy Redeemer Parish, Kanata, at Seno Santo Cristo Church, Ottawa. Archbishop Betancourt entered the diplomatic service of the Holy See in 1999. Since then, has served in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Vatican diplomat also served in the protocol service of Pope Benedict XVI, who named him Chief Protocol in 2012. The Archbishop José Avelino has written several articles and essays through which he received state recognitions.
And now we come back to the very controversial presence of 9 babies said to have been born by a single woman of Nigerian nationality in Cameroon, and the Nigerian Consul General for the Southwest and also the littoral, where at the residence of the lady here in Douala. Our reporter Majikan Gabriel was also there. He now tells us more.
2 weeks after Equinoxe TV aired the report about the Nigerian woman who gave to birth to noniplets, Nigerian authorities within Douala have visited the family of Madu Anthony. When asked why the news about the noniplets didn't have any impact in Nigeria, the Consul General for the Littoral and West region gave this response.
Well, my dear brother, it is an act of God, force majeure, so we cannot explain that. We've seen it and we've welcomed it. It's a good one.
But Madu Antonia Bianuju had a different response to the question.
It's individual because I gave birth to 9 kids. So 4 is okay, 5 is not okay. So there's no need of exposing them because we don't really know that the 5 of them are going to survive.
About the assurance if the 9 children were belonging to the Madu Anthony family, the Consul General said,
facial marks, we know, and plans of their parents. So they are the rape.
Before leaving the residence of Madu Anthony, the Consul General of Nigeria for the Littoral and West region, who was accompanied by the Consul General for the Southwest and Northwest regions, Ambassador Lawal Bapa visited the 9 kids in their bedroom and supported the family with a sum of 500,000 francs CFA and some baby's items. Though the Nigerian authorities have visited the woman with the noni plates, many questions still remain unanswered, particularly why the government of Akwa Ibom State abandoned this family to themselves after the noni plates were delivered at the General Hospital in Equinoxe, Orong.
Hopefully those questions be answered smart. And now we talk sports. Some athletes of the Cameroon Powerlifting Federation say they have been owed 59 million francs CFA by the federation. Some of the athletes who are former champions in their different categories say that all the money is accumulated bonuses which have not yet been paid to them. Smart Jikan Gabriel spoke to some of these athletes and put together this report for the news.
Powerlifters in Cameroon are angry with the way they are being treated by the president of the Cameroon Powerlifting Federation.
Un athlète s'entraîne 2 fois par jour.
An athlete trains 2 times per day. That's 4 hours in the morning and evening, and the athlete needs to eat. With what we are doing, no other work is possible. We have left the other years behind, but this year we are asking for 59 million francs CFA.
De notre sport au Cameroun.
Apart from demanding for a better management, there are also issues of unpaid bonuses raised by these athletes.
Parlons des primes.
Talking about bonuses, when he returned from South Africa, he called me to his office. I was supposed to get 105,000 francs CFA for training bonuses. As I went to get a photocopy of my identity card, I returned. He has left, and his secretary gave me 70,000 francs CFA.
La secrétaire me remet 70 000 francs.
In a chat with journalists, the president of the Cameroon Powerlifting Federation, Aucun, says he is surprised with the alarming amount the athletes are demanding. He says most outdoor movements they have done, it was from his own pocket. I paid visa fee. Vaccination fee for some was almost 30,000 francs CFA. I don't know where 59 million francs CFA is coming from, but I know of 45,500,000 francs CFA. There are some money we spent in Cameroon and others out of the country. I have taken these kids to Algeria twice from my own fundings, and also to USA, still from my own money. The demands of these powerlifters came after one of the athletes recently stopped the Cup of Cameroon finals that was taking place in Yaoundé due to the non-payment of bonuses.
And that does it for the first part of the news, viewers. Let's move on to talking points. Welcome back, viewers. Our guest tonight will be coming to us live from Libreville, Gabon. Victor Tata Bigny, thank you so much for your time tonight, sir. You are in Gabon, Libreville. We want to find out from you, how did the Gabonese wake up today after the coup d'etat of yesterday, which led to the president and his family being put on house arrest by the military?
Yeah, hi, and this is Victor speaking from Libreville, Gabon. After the military takeover yesterday, which the atmosphere was tense and with fear and terror everywhere, after the declaration from the military that business will resume today, all Gabonese have come out today, though slowly. The situation is calm, circulation is fluid, people are moving about without any situation or any problem. The military barricades that were placed everywhere in town have been reduced drastically. Only at some key points that where they call it red zones, that the circulation, there is still barricades because people are being held at the house arrest, but the barricades have been drastically reduced. The curfew period has been equally reduced from 7 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now it is 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And at that now, people are already leaving their offices back to their residences because very soon taxis will be scarce.
And now, Victor, let's get back to what happened yesterday. We noticed that even today we see pictures of Gabonese embracing and feeling so at ease besides the military. They seem to be happy about what is happening in their country. What have you been observing on the field?
You are perfectly correct, because from the ambience and from the manner in which the population is jubilating and chanting songs of praises to the military. You see them taking selfie with military and other officials, which is indicative that the population has really embraced the military, the decision of the military to take over power, which means that they were really disturbed, or they were filled to the brim with the system here, which was archaic, and now they have been delivered. And that's why you see them, they are embracing and chanting songs of praises to the military.
And now, Victor, you are in Gabon. We have been mentioning that precisely in Libreville. And we know that the Gabonese now have a transitional president, General Brice Nguema. Now, how did the Gabonese themselves receive this news that they have a new transitional leader?
Yes, sincerely speaking, as I went to most areas, which we call it here, those are where most people do many manifestations, like the Run for Democracy, in Zion, Chabonnage. We go right to Ovendo and Pekaseng. We saw population gathering around the military, embracing themselves, chanting some praises, and they were taking pictures together. Some even trying to purchase drinks and give to the military, which shows signs of appreciation to the military for the job well done, which means they were really tired with the system here from their behavior. You saw them, you could see them dancing on the streets, embracing military, some taking the significant selfies with the military, which shows signs of joy and then appreciation to the military.
And Victor, we learned that internet has already been partially reinstated. Sure, it was suspended. We want to believe that it affected economic activities drastically. For the time, you guys did not have access or full access to internet connection. Can you tell us, you are in Libreville, how did that affect negatively activities in Gabon?
Well, concerning the internet, immediately around 4 p.m. on the 26th of August, during when election was still going on, internet was completely shut down and most foreign channels were blocked. People took everybody by suspense. All activities were blocked. Businesses, banks, and all whatnot. No administrative area was functional, because we cannot go about businesses without internet. It really affected all the companies here, as well as banks. Most of the people were all at home. When internet was reinstated yesterday, when the military took over and declared, some few minutes later, at about they took over from around 5 p.m. or 5 a.m. and at about 7 a.m. 7:30, internet was restored, and there was jubilations everywhere. People sending images and all whatnot, which they were long awaited. It was a long awaited day when internet was restored. We cannot work without internet. It has really affected businesses out here. A lot of things have been lost.
Now, what is the situation as at today?
Yeah. Sincerely speaking, concerning air, land, and maritime transport, which were shut down completely, especially on Friday, which was completely shut down because prior to the election days, it was only the maritime and land transport that was shut down. But on Friday, we got information from air transport, like AfriJet and whatnot, that they've given them instructions that no flight will be coming in or going out of Gabon. As of now, every place is calm. But I saw some 2 or 3 flights since morning. They just landed, but I've not seen flights taking off. I don't know. I will verify and give you more details later on, but it has not yet been installed, reinstated. As you see, most of the people that have been arrested now, some of them were already getting around the borders. That's why they caught some of them almost crossing to Cameroon and other countries. So it has not all been reinstated as of now fully.
Now, you said if the military sees somebody, you mentioned it a while ago, they can consider you as an enemy. That's a reason for a lot of control in most towns and cities in Gabon as at now. When you talk about an enemy, can you explain that further, please?
It was in the desert, every place was deserted because only people who may be military people in civilian or some courageous security people that could drive through the tedious, because the barricades were really security. I drove from Rond Point from my residence at Bele, Chabonnage, to Rond Point Democracy, to Zion, but passing through a lot of controls, search and all and not. But you need to be courageous to have done that. And I did that just to safeguard our company, because we are a private security company. And I had to talk to the officials who I am, what I'm doing, and what we are doing as a security company, so that they could allow our vehicles to circulate, which they did. It was something that you need to take with courage and humility, because it was a tense atmosphere. They could took you for somebody as an enemy, and we lost our life. You need to be courageous.
Thank you, Victor, for your time. But please, before we go, can you tell us, you are on the ground, you're in the capital city, Libreville. Can you tell us generally how the Gabonese are living the situation in their country?
Because when in situations like this, they don't know who is for and who is against. That's why you see anybody approaching any control point, you are first of all a suspect until you prove otherwise. That's why when you come around, you need to present yourself, your badge, as is who you are before they approach you, and then you step out of your car. They search you out of your car, and then they search your car when you are some distance from your car. Before, when something is not discovered, you regain. And when they discover that you are somebody who could circulate at such a moment, then you will be granted access.
Like I was saying before we go, Victor, is it possible for you to tell us how Gabonese generally are living what is happening in their country?
To be very candid with you, to the best of my knowledge, to the Gabonese I've talked with, and those that I've met at various points in town that I've been traveling, I've tried to assess. They've taken the present situation with a lot of relief. All of them that I've met, I've not seen anybody who has talked negatively about the situation at hand. They have embraced the situation with a lot of relief, that they just hope that in the coming years, or in the days ahead, the military in power will respect what they've promised, that they will handle every issue, and then will give the powers back to the civilians, that everything will be coordinated, because they were already tired with the system. They have embraced it with a lot of relief, that they are very, very confident and secured with the current situation at hand.
Thank you so much, Victor Tatambigni, for giving us updates on what is happening in Gabon as at now. Viewers, we thank you so much for always being there. That does it for this edition of the news, but don't go away. As usual, our programs continue. The news in the French language is at 8 p.m. We'll be coming back to more updates on what is happening in Gabon and Equinoxe. It's at 7 p.m. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television, and see you tomorrow, God willing.